Das Rätsel der Bewegung, man müsste nochmal 20 sein. English, The Secret of Motion, you'd have to be 20 again, was created in 2021. In contrast to Clever Animals, there is now a dramatic form. It is a composition with a beginning and an end. The starting point for the secret of motion is the claim of the ancient Greek philosopher Zenon of Elea that there is no motion. As an example, he talks about the apparent motion of an arrow. At a given point in time, he says, an arrow is always only in one place. So the flight consists of individual static positions. The ancient historian Diogenes Laertius records the following statement by Zenon. Zenon says, whatever moves, moves neither in the place in which it is, nor in the place in which it is not. In The Secret of Motion, Zeno provides a framework on several levels. First, Zeno's arrow. The video begins like this.
Nicht.
And here is the end.
In dem, wo es nicht ist.
Excerpts from the quote are spoken in German and English throughout the video. Zenon denies motion and therefore continuity. You can do that, but it is well known that this theory leads to some contradictions in real life. For example, you notice that you're getting older all the time. Then you say to yourself, you would have to be 20 again and as in love as you were then. The dilemma that the mechanism of thought has problems with movement and continuity, but reality doesn't care much about it, is now reflected in various items, all of which shed different light on motion. The secret of motion is now structured spatially and temporally. First, the space. There is the upper corridor with the arrow, and there are two hands on the left and right that are slowly but steadily moving together and apart. The items are then placed in the middle area. The chronological structure is determined by division into chapters. These chapters are actually fake. They appear to describe content. In reality, however, the titles are randomly generated from a repertoire of text and therefore only sometimes, by chance, make sense. The items are placed in these frames spatially and temporally. The items appear variably at randomly generated locations on the screen, and they appear randomly and in random combinations at different times. As I said, the secret of motion is an example of an open dramatic form. I've already talked about the temporal structure. The form is open because here again the code is the actual composition. And, as in Clever Animals and All Was Well, every evaluation results in different versions. Here a graphic representation of two versions of the form. What always stays the same is the beginning and the end, the hit of the arrow, and the structure into chapters. However, how many chapters, the titles of the chapters, and the progression of the items will be different in each version. Let's now take a closer look at some of the items. A very important one consists of animations or photoseries by the English photographer Edward Muybridge. Muybridge lived from 1830 to 1904. The invention of photography in the 19th century inspired Muybridge to analyze human motion using photoseries. Here's a man with a hat. For the secret of motion, I have now animated various photoseries by Muybridge with the movement always running cyclically forwards and backwards. Here's the animated man with hat. In the video, there are now different combinations that are placed in different places on the screen and run at different speeds. Of course, random is also in the game again. Here an example.
Was sich.
Zen says, whatever
The
moves.
secret of motion contains a whole series of items that address motion and continuity. Motion in the Muybridge animations is cyclical motion. Cyclical motion also exists in a rotating planetary system. Another item shows a figure jumping over a number bar. Here the motion is a directed motion from A to B. If you want, you can read it as aging.
In dem Ort.
There are a number of items that have to do with dance, movement as intoxication. An example is an excerpt from the film Bande à part by Jean-Luc Godard from 1964.
Sich.
Zählen sagt, was sich bewegt.
Then there is an item with the motion of language and writing.
Sich.
A special item consists of an excerpt from a TV show. A singer sings a pretty stupid hit with the lyrics, "You'd have to be 20 again," the subtitle of the video. Movement appears here as a review.
Man müsste noch mal 20 sein und so verliebt wie damals.
I spoke about the dramatic open form of The Secret. The ending is the result of the arrow hitting the target. However, I left out the fact that there is a kind of epilogue after that.
In dem, wo es nicht ist.
Eins, zwei, drei. Butter mit Brei. Salz mit Speck. Du bist weg.
The text here is a German nursery rhyme. 1, 2, 3, Butter mit Brei, Salz mit Speck, du bist weg. In English, 1, 2, 3, butter with porridge, salt with bacon, you're gone. So far, a brief insight into the secret of motion you'd have to be 20 again. There are a whole series of other items that are missing from this overview. Of course, many are purely acoustic. But I think that the poetic idea of the video has become clear, and I'll play another excerpt to finish.
In. Was sich
Zen says, whatever moves, moves neither in the place in which it is, nor the place in which it is not.
sagt. In dem Ort
Indeed.